Okay, here we go. What a day. Yes, it is. What a day. Good morning, everybody, and a lovely. Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm sitting here today, right now, at about 9. Welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome aboard on a lovely Friday morning. So I'm sitting here in the same exact clothes that I wore all day yesterday and all night last night. Didn't change, didn't put my PJs on, thank you, Phil. Didn't nothing because we got no heat. Okay, we got no heat, and the heating man was here last night, and I need a new motor or whatever it is. He's coming in, Andy. We'll see. We'll figure it out while we're on the air. But also, for those of you who are just starting out on your family, my 20-year-old, my youngest, I got a 44-year-old, 39-year-old, and a 20-year-old. Mark, some of you know him. He went on his first excursion. He had a conference. So when your youngest kid has a conference, it's got to go to Indianapolis. Phil, wait for a phone call. If my son needs something, you may have to bail him out there in Indianapolis. So I take him to the airport, and we were all the way out by the Hamptons, and it's you know the New York traffic on a Friday morning going into Manhattan. So we leave at 4 in the morning. He was not happy. I thought, and Andy is at the door now. So there you go. I thought that I would have to put the show off until 11 o'clock, and here's the man who's going to give us heat. There he is, coming in, fix the motor. He's the motor man. And there you go. Okay, Brooks, looks like we're going to have a decent opening. That's right. And George, you are my son. You're my oldest son, all right? And there you go. Okay, let's get right to what you came here for. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but here it is. Name the two teams. The two last teams to have not spent $1 in free agency this winter. Now, keep in mind, name the two last teams, there's only two, who have not spent $1 in free agency this winter. Anybody want to give that a shot, okay? You may think it's 3, but there was a signing yesterday that makes it 2. Not telling you exactly what that was, so name for me the two teams that have not spent. No, the Pirates made a signing yesterday. The Cubs are 1. That's right, the Cubs are 1. By the way, the Pirates signed Guillermo Heredia, a 1-year, $1 million deal with the Pirates, so that's not it. So the Cubs are one of the teams, and name the other team, and this is the hard one, name the other team that has not spent even $1 on free agency this winter, okay? The Rockies are the other one. There you go. The Rockies. Okay. What a joke. Okay. Good morning to Brooks and Greg and Dale and Doug. And don't forget Doug tomorrow morning. Doug with his fantastic wit and everything else. And George is there. And Ralph Powell and Phil and Ray K and Kevin and Trader Jim. And Unholy Toledo is back after a brief... when Unholy Toledo is not in the chat room, I get nervous. I don't know why. All right, but anyway. According to Kenny Rosenthal, here's the deal. Chris Bryant will lose his service time grievance. And we got a lot of... we got a big audience here this morning. All right? So... Chris Bryant will lose his service time grievance. Now, that's actually good for the Cubs. Not because they're going to keep him for 2 years, but it enables the Cubbies now to trade Chris Bryant. I still think that they want to do that, and they will get more for Chris Bryant now with 2 years of eligibility rather than 1. He will have 2 full seasons of control, and just like the Mookie Betts and the Lindor and all that stuff. Now, the grievance was filed after the 2015 year saying that they manipulated his service time. And by waiting, that was something that we all knew. So, all right, look, Chicago wound up winning 97 games that year. Good for third place in the National League Central. But so we'll see. Now it seems to me that the Cubbies will now Chris Bryant's name's going to be bantered out. Okay, they have been reportedly shopping Bryant the entire offseason, but without knowing how much control. Theo Epstein really, didn't. But here's what's going on. Now, Atlanta, if they don't get Josh Donaldson, will be right in there on the Chris Bryant bandwagon. Washington, if they don't get Josh Donaldson, they'll be on the Chris Bryant bandwagon. The Dodgers may reemerge on the Chris Bryant bandwagon. Minnesota Twins may emerge on the Chris Bryant bandwagon, and that's it. There may be, and even the Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals, as a result of that trade they made yesterday, we'll talk about that in just a minute. That trade they made yesterday had so much inner workings to it, okay? So don't forget, all right, the Cubbies have not made a deal, but they'll be actively shopping around Chris Bryant, and who knows what that will lead to. Now, the Tampa Rays sent the top 50 prospect, Matt Lipitor. I think that's one of my drugs that I take. Don't I have to take one a day of Lipitor. All right, anyway, Lipitor, whatever his name is. To St. Louis. It's a win now move. We talked about the Tampa Rays briefly. I picked up Tommy Pham in our mock draft yesterday because, look, he's on a team, Tampa, that's going for it. They're going for it. Okay? The question is, with St. Louis, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, will the Cardinals keep him or will the Cardinals flip him to try to improve their roster for 2020? They could use him as a tool, and if you haven't heard, it's already been leaked out a little bit that the Colorado Rockies, the only other team that has not made a free agent dollar movement yet, could be the team interested in the Cardinals now. Okay, Lipitor, look, it could also increase the chances of Marcell Ozuna. Remember, we talked about Ozuna. They're still talking about Ozuna. His chances of returning to St. Louis, okay? Lipitor is the type of prospect that the Rockies would demand in a trade package for Nolan Arenado, so that's it. And also now that Jose Martinez was traded. Martinez, as we all know, can't field. He's an American League player. But with Goldschmidt at first, there was no way that defensively they could play Martinez in one corner spot and Castellanos in another corner spot. Couldn't happen. Two of the worst corner defenders in Major League Baseball. Similar to the problem the Yankees have with Gleyber Torres at short and Andujar at third. So now that Martinez is out of the question, they could get Castellanos. And, of course, we all know that Texas is knee-deep in Castellanos. But the Cardinals, any one of these teams could emerge. They also got Randy Arozarena and a compensation pick and the whole thing. And the catcher going from Tampa to St. Louis was Eduardo Rodriguez, who spent last year in rookie-level Gulf Coast League. Okay? So there you go. So the Cardinals traded from an area of extreme depth in their outfield. They got a lot of outfielders. And they got someone in Lipitor, regarded as one of the best pitching prospects in the game, and it gives them a ton of options. I got to tell you, that was one of the best trades for any broadcaster, because now we got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm sitting here with a fan, hot air blowing on me. Oh, baby, what a day this is going to be. And I don't know if we're going to get our, anyway, whatever it is. So anyway, Lipitor, a very highly touted prospect. One Major League scout said he likes the deal for the Rays. They get a bat that kills left-handed pitching. Arozarena, who's hit everywhere and moved up about 40 spots in the draft at the end. Excellent move for a win team now. Lipitor is notably polished, a young 6'6" left-hander. Got that 91 to 95 fastball. He can hit 97. He shuffles between the slice shuffles, Got a slider, got a changeup, got a curveball. and he can be pretty good. Got an 82-mile-an-hour slider, so it's like a slurve, they say, like a slurve. So he could join the Cardinals' top pick from. Hold on a second, we got. Hello, and what's your name? What's up? Yes, you're on the air. Any problem? All right, I'll call you back. Goodbye. This is the X Factor on the phone. Goodbye. That was the ex-wife. Want to know how the kid made out. So we got the ex. We speak to each other every morning. I mean, it's nice. You know, you get divorced, okay, fine, no big deal. But we're best friends, and we speak to each other every morning, and we call the show the X Factor. So, anyway, Zach Thompson was the Cardinals' top pick from the last draft. So they got Genesis Cabrera, who was acquired from the Rays in exchange for Tommy Pham. So they're going. Now, St. Louis is in the hunt for Ozuna. Remember, all right, his first option will be St. Louis, but they want, Ozuna wants them to step up. Okay, so and remember, Arizarena is also the Cardinals' rookie outfielder who sent manager Mike Shields' fiery, expletive-laden speech during the playoffs on Instagram. And he embarrassed the hell out of the organization. I don't know if you remember that, but look, more time for Tyler O'Neill, Lane Thomas. This is what they're saying, but it's not going to happen. Justin Williams, Dylan Carlson, the switch-hitting top prospect for the Cardinals. He may get a chance to play, but the Cardinals want to win, okay? And they're going to come up with either Castellanos. Now, they could get Bryant over at third base and move Carpenter around and see what they got there, okay? But the Cardinals have a long-standing interest, if you remember, in Colorado, in Nolan Arenado. And the Rockies, we are told, are entertaining talks. Now, it's not clear how aggressive the Cardinals are and how aggressive, receptive Colorado is, but that would be pretty interesting. The asking price has been high, but now Lipitor makes a big difference. He was drafted out of Phoenix High School and all that stuff. And, look, Martinez drew interest from Tampa when they were looking for a DH during the season, just a few months before he signed the deal with the Cardinals. So, very interesting trade that's going to lead to even more. And as far as Tampa's concerned, look, they gave up Lipitor, they gave up Rodriguez, and they got, okay, here's the Heat. How are we doing with the Heat? Let's get some heat in this house. Holy mackerel. Oh, Arizarena, by the way, can play 3 outfield positions. Martinez hit about 270 with only 10 home runs. But Tampa really believes that has more to do with not having a defined role. In Tampa, he will platoon as a right-handed DH. Okay, so he's got a designed role, and he's under contract for 2020. So looks like it's pretty good. As far as Arenado is concerned, we all know he's the best hitting third baseman. He hits a ton, the whole thing. Only 28 years old. But okay, so what do we got? Let's hear the report.
We need a new heater. We need a new heater and a water heater.
Yeah.
And he's going to do all of it for $3,100.
A new heater and a water heater?
Yes, because both of them are the $600 it's going to cost just to replace the part.
Hold on a second, everybody. I'm getting. We're breaking the bank right now. Got to hit FanDuel. Got to go on DraftKings. I need a tip. Okay, $3,100. Can anybody in the chat room do better than $3,100?
It's going to cost us today. It's going to cost us $1,600.
Okay, and we're getting a new water heater
and a new furnace.
And a new furnace. Could you throw in a new wife?
And he's going to bring a couple heaters.
Okay, could you throw in a new wife?
That's right.
In that deal?
Listen, don't take chances with me.
All right.
You got a good wife.
There we go. I'll throw in a better one.
Wife.
There's always a better one. Did I give you the check?
After 4 marriages.
Yes, I have a check. I just wanted to make sure I could write the check for $1,600.
Yeah, you can write the check, but you know what that means. Okay, anyway, this is behind the scenes of the Legends house. That's right, Roto Lady and the Legend. We need a new water heater, and we need a new, I need a new, well, anyway, okay. So look, when you consider the Cardinals and the lackluster, I'll call it lackluster production that they got at third base. Adding Arenado would be exactly what they need.